Tonight, Just Stop Oil protesters changed their tactics. Sticking to the top of an oil tanker in West London, they brought traffic to a standstill, infuriating drivers. Good evening. In a change of tactics, environmental protesters today ambushed an oil tanker in West London, causing chaos in rush hour. They disabled a lorry's brakes before climbing on top. Campaigners from Just Stop Oil have spent the last fortnight blockading fuel terminals, but this morning they decided to target a junction close to the M4 in an attempt to get their protests more widely noticed. It certainly did that, with stranded drivers venting their anger towards the protesters. Our cameras saw it all unfold, as our political correspondent Simon Harris now reports.
It was a carefully planned ambush on a busy roundabout, and it marked a change in tactics by activists from Just Stop Oil. Instead of targeting oil depots, they chose to hit a fuel tanker on the move. The unlucky driver had come to a stop at a red light on the Chiswick roundabout when the protesters made their move.
Basically, the tanker came to the lights. People stepped out with the banner to inform the driver that the tanker has been stopped and that he can't go further forward, whilst a couple others climbed up on top of the tanker.
The tanker was stranded in the middle of 3 lanes and was soon surrounded by police. With part of the roundabout blocked, traffic on the approach roads, including the M4 and North Circular, began to back up.
We're trying to go to Kew Gardens to the Hungry Caterpillar exhibition with my 2 sons in the back, and it's just a bit of a shame really that we're very late and it's kind of spoiling the day a little bit.
A load of rubbish. I don't know why they're doing it. They're causing all these problems for petrol. It's 45 minutes queued up yesterday just to get some diesel.
They've got a belief in something, fair play. They're not causing anyone any harm, are they? It's slowing us down, but what can we do?
Well, we've come from Kent to do a job and we can't get to it, so our boss is not very happy.
The 3 men and a woman used a mixture of super glue and metal locks to fix themselves to the top of the tanker. The activists have been sitting on top of the tanker for just over an hour now. The driver's still inside his cab, and the police have started their operation to remove the protesters. A hydraulic platform arrived along with specialist officers.
I've arrested you.
The protesters were told they were under arrest, and then one by one they were given a safety harness, helmet and protective goggles. One by one they were rolled or dragged onto the cherry picker and carefully lowered to the ground. Then they were carried to the pavement and cautioned before being locked in the back of a van and taken away to a police station. Labour has called on ministers to use High Court injunctions to stop the protests.
Nobody suggests that the climate crisis isn't a very important #1 priority, but this is not the way to solve that problem, and the government can't just wring its hands, do something about it.
Activists from Just Stop Oil have been trying to disrupt petrol and diesel supplies since the start of the month. They want ministers to backtrack on plans to licence new projects to extract oil and gas, but the government says it won't tolerate guerrilla tactics. Today's action tied up police for 3 hours before the tanker was able to drive away. Simon Harris, ITV News, Chiswick.